I wasn't expecting this to be my first video, but I gotta rant a bit, because I've been playing Outcome Memories. I love this game a lot, and I think when it comes to balancing this game and talking about the version 2 update, which I have several videos being worked on for it, by the way, we gotta stop listening to community feedback 100%. I feel like the only type of feedback that should be given out is the constructive, helpful type that actually cares about the game's balance, and not just, oh, nerf this because I suck at the game, dude. Granted, thankfully due to Sobi, my GOAT, he reverted the changes to silver. But the fact that there was a silver nerf to his flight regen, and it being 2 minutes, was absurd. That was genuinely insane. I'm not gonna lie to you, that was the most unnecessary butchering of a character I've ever seen. Silver's not a stunner, he's a staller. He can't do much. Best he can do is suspension, which I think if we want to talk about his oppressiveness and how strong he is, his two strongest abilities is suspension and flight. Because rock is borderline useless because the aiming and the necessities and the steps you have to take to pull off that move require way too much thought process when dealing with these killers that are very fast, high damage, and are very strong. Which is another thing I'll get onto later, but I want to finish the silver section first. As someone who's fought silvers so far, and who has beaten silvers on LMS, I get it. The flight is a very strong ability. It makes him a very strong survivor. But it's attached to one ability. It's not an Eggman situation where, both his shield and his jetpack boost, which was very oppressive to 2011 back in version 1, was making him, damn near unbeatable. Silver is beatable. But I did think, like everybody else in the community, that the regen was way too fast. To get it all back, it was low-key really ridiculous. I think for the skip Silver could take, and for the amount of distance he can cover, yes, you should at least make the regen a bit longer than what it initially was when the update dropped. But 2 minutes, I don't know who came up with that idea, but that is insane. I got to play with it for at least a solid 3 to 4 hours. For a good half of the round, you just can't use flight. And to get even half of it back was a minute. That was an over-tuned nerf to a hell of a bunch, bro. I think if it was maybe, 40 seconds to, damn near around a minute to get the full thing back, I'd be okay. Because if you wanted to make a big skip with silver, I feel like you should wait a good chunk of time, not an insane not an insane amount of time, but a good chunk of time to just regain your full thing back. Because flight is a really strong ability. It's a very strong ability. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's not. But butchering it to 2 minutes is not a good nerf. It's not because at that point it takes out literally Silver's only good move would be suspension because of how the cooldown's still short. It's still a very good tool when working with your teammates, but then you would butcher all of his mobility. So Silvers would get decimated, destroyed by Kolossos super easy because Kolossos does 50 damage per M1, and bro, I don't know who recommended the 2 minutes, but I'm glad Sobi reverted it. I'd say a good estimate would be 40 or so seconds. 40 or so seconds to get the full thing back. Because that way, if a Silver burns through his thing to do a crazy skip, you'd have enough time to find him, chase him down, and then put in some good pressure before he can get it back again. But never again should we recommend 2 minutes. Never. And the reason why I say we should not listen to the community, because when it comes to Asym games, especially Asym games on Roblox, or just Asym games in general, because I play Dead by Daylight, I play Forsaken, or I used to play Forsaken, and I play other Roblox Asym games, or just Asym games in general, survivors need to learn how to adapt to situations. We shouldn't be sitting here complaining about the fact that we can't beat a killer that just got released. This is going for Kolossos. This is going for a bit of Tripwire, but I know Tripwire in general is a more in-depth discussion because even Raven wasn't satisfied with how Tripwire was discussed, and I'll cover that in a later video. So I can't even blame the complaints about Tripwire. Tripwire was oppressively strong. The mimes are oppressively strong. They were really good at everything, but now with the newest nerfs, it feels like they don't really excel at anything either, and that sucks because they're supposed to be a zoner. They should excel at zoning, at trapping people off, cutting corners, like making people feel secluded from their teammates so they can pick them off one by one. That's what they should be feeling like. But they went from being an all-arounder to just like an, I don't know, they're like in an okay-ish spot. And that's like, I have to play Tripwire more because I play Kolossos more than Tripwire, but like, that's okay, but like, design-wise for these killers, they should excel in their strengths. Like, Kolossos is a brute. He should be a threat. He should be threatening. I get the changes to charge turning. Like, it's not bad. I'm not saying charging with Kolossos is, like, disgusting. Like, it's not usable. You can still use it. Like, but then that's another thing, right? Which is why I think this should work both ways. Why is it when killers go up against really strong survivors, by the way? Like, Outcome Memories still has probably one of the strongest survivor cast I've ever seen in any Asym game. Why do killers have to adapt to them? But when survivors get put with the question of adapt to the killers, all they do is complain. All they do is complain, say it's overtuned, overbusted, and saying that it should be gutted or it should be nerfed. When it's put in reverse, killers have to adapt to these strong survivors, and if they complain, it's just, oh, get good. That doesn't make any sense. Asymmetrical horror games should not be Bully the EXE simulator. We shouldn't be comfortable beating up a killer. That literally makes it that makes the game not scary. It makes it not a horror game. Like, am I missing something? It's an asymmetrical horror game. I should be feeling fear when running away from bloody hedgehogs, bro. I should be afraid when they're near me. And I should be wanting to be near my team so my team can work with me so I can survive better. I shouldn't be confident that I can solo an EXE by myself. That doesn't make sense. A survivor should be strong enough to where if they're separated from their teammates, they can stand on their own, but stand on their own enough so they can join back up with their team. Not be strong enough as alone so where they can be like, oh yeah, I can solo the EXE and bully him just by myself. Because at that point, the EXE is not a threat. He's a victim. And that's what made version 1 so unbearable for people. Like, granted, I thugged it out and I learned 2011X, and I think, like, I was of the opinion of thinking 2011X wasn't a bad killer, because he wasn't. He was just very skill based and he wasn't beginner friendly, which I still agree to this day. He's still like, he like in version 1 he was not beginner friendly, but if you learned him, he was a really strong killer. He had a lot of moves to help him deal with the cast. But now it's like the survivor players are just so used to this mentality that God forbid a killer is not like not being stun chained 24/7 and are actually decently strong. They're like, oh, this update sucks, worse than Epstein. The killers are way too strong. Like, that doesn't make sense, bro. Like, I don't know what you came in here to play or expect to play, but it shouldn't be a bully the killer simulator. You should genuinely fear for your life when playing this game. Like, you should be. You should be worried. You should be concerned. And if you're just annoyed and frustrated that you can't beat the killer, adapt. There's counterplay to this. Like, Kolossos has counterplay. Tripwire, even though it's not the best, has counterplay. There are workarounds to these strong killers. Learn the counterplay. And if it's just a moment of, I can't do it because I'm bad at the game, don't blame the game. Don't blame the game nor the testers. You just suck at the game. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And the reason why I'm like so harsh and like pushing it in on this, because I'm typically normally in a normal setting, when someone complains, I try to help them. I try to guide them. I try to show them the workarounds to these issues that they're quote unquote having. But for this shit, I'm not gonna lie, y'all just complaining to complain. Outcome Memories players gotta be some of the most hand-holding players I've ever seen in my life, dude. like, instead of complaining about, oh, damn, I just played bad, I'll probably play better in the next round, or damn, I should probably stick with my team more, so like, you know, we can all, like, deal with the killer better next time. Instead of actually, like, reflecting on, you know, mistakes you make as a player, which a lot of these people that complain, they're gonna be like, oh, I don't make mistakes, I play flawlessly. No, the hell you don't. I see the clips on Twitter. I see your gameplay. 9 times out of 10, y'all who complain, y'all play like butt. And then y'all are confused why the killer punishes you for playing like butt. That doesn't make sense, bro. Like, this game, a thing that I liked about this game a lot, which is going to be reflective in my version 1 review, because I really did like version 1. Like, version 1 was most of my playtime, and I'm like almost averaging 550 hours in this game. But y'all just need to learn to get good. Like, please, just get good at the game. Learn the game. Learn the counterplay. Understand how these killers work. And that there's workarounds to it. I for one, thought Kolossos was fairly balanced. I thought he was. The maps are huge. Charge with good turning was needed. He can get stun chained and stunned for back-to-back, just like 2011. So yes, him being a combo demon was a threat. That's what made him scary. That's what made him oppressive. Now his most scariest thing is just the fact that he still two-shots people. And I hope they never nerf that. He needs to still two-shot people. That's how he's oppressive. That's his biggest strength. He's a brute. You are supposed to be afraid of this guy. You aren't supposed to just randomly run out, emote for the entire round, or just run around willy-nilly going like, oh yeah, I'm gonna run around and not get hit by Kolossos. I love this game. No, that's not how this works. It's an asymmetrical horror game. You are supposed to fight the killer and be afraid of fighting the killer. Kolossos, in theory, if you base it off pure design philosophy, should be the guy you should be avoiding the most. 2011, I get it. You know, work around his trickery, fight him off. That works. Tripwire, work around the mines, fight him off. Kolossos, you should be afraid of. But if you keep nerfing him or changing him because survivor players or people who just want to hate on outcome memories just for the sake of hating it, want to complain that, oh, he's overtuned, or outcome memory fans swear that this killer is balanced, and then they show a clip of him doing a crazy catch with charge because the survivors aren't dodging or moving out of the way, because a lot of survivors, each of them have a move to dictate charge. They're just gonna complain and say, oh yeah, no, this killer's way too overtuned, this update's ass. Like, bro, I have my fair share of issues with this update, don't get me wrong. But when it comes to the killers are refreshing. I'm glad they're here. I'm glad they're strong. Because the biggest issue about 2011 is that he wasn't strong. He wasn't a threat. So why do we have to nerf these new killers to make them feel less like a threat? That doesn't make sense. Like, if you're by yourself, yes, I think in a scenario where you are by yourself, the killer should be stronger than you. Yes, I do think that. Like, it's a team-based game. This game relies a lot on teamwork. Like, you shouldn't be going out here saying, oh yeah, I'm stunning this thing, and thinking you can solo him. No! At that point, you're just playing a Sonic fighting game, bro. What? God. Like, I'm glad Sobi reverted the silver changes, because if not, that would have gutted this character entirely. I think when discussing balance, we need to be more open-minded about the design philosophy behind why certain characters do what they do. Kolossos in Disaster two-shots people. I hope we know that. Granted, the one in Outcome Memories is more mobile than the one in the Disaster, but that's because the maps are bigger. Survivors are quicker. They have iframes. They have mobility moves. I think killers like Kolossos and Tripwire in 2011 should have mobility moves. We shouldn't have to nerf their potential just because survivors don't want to learn the counterplay. I've beaten a Kolossos so many times. Like, people don't understand. Kolossos as a whole is a pub stomper. If he is in a public server with a bunch of noobs, yes, he's going to look stupid OP. But if he goes against a team of competent survivors, he's not winning. I'm telling you, he's not winning. Like, a team with a bunch of competent players that know what they're doing, that understand their survivor kits, Kolossos is not winning against those characters. Like, the people who I play with, we never struggle with Kolossos. We never do. Even if it's a really good Kolossos, best he can do is, like, pluck one of us off. At best. So it's like, we have to account for low skill play and high skill play when it comes to balancing these killers. Or when it comes to balancing survivors. Like, that's why, like, in my opinion, like, Eggman's strong, but I think he needs to be. He's a survivalist character. Like, I'll probably make a whole separate video about OM balancing in the later half, but for now I just need to get this rant out, because we need to stop balancing for these people that are complaining that barely put time into the game. Learn the game. Outcome Memories is a game you have to learn. God. Jesus. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Peace out, bro.